I got a brake caliper like I said I was gonna do. I've been sitting out here for an hour and a half trying to figure out how I'm gonna mount it because this mounting plate hits my bolts for my brake disc. So I think we're gonna have to chop that up and we're gonna have to make a bracket that bolts onto here and comes out and around and folds up so it can mount on the backside. It might take a couple times and I might end up having to buy a new caliper, but I think we can get it done. I also got my metal so that I can finish my rear control arms, get my axles chopped up on how they need to be. I've got a battery over there charging, and I think this is gonna take a while though. I think I've dug myself into a hole that I don't know how I'm gonna get myself out of, but we're gonna see. I do have brakes for the front, so I mean, if all else fails, we could try just using front brakes and see how that works. I don't see why it wouldn't work because there's one per wheel. This is just one on the back, so we might be able to get away without this one. We'll just have to check and see. But for starters, we are going to try to get this one in. If not, we'll go to plan B of just front brakes and see how that works. Oh, also, I have a brake hose coming for this today that hopefully fits. So hopefully we get this mounted up, and then number two, hopefully the brake hose for it fits. If not, I don't know what we're gonna do, but we'll figure it out. So I'm getting some good stuff going here. I did get this one bent up like you saw. I do have a mark on there. I don't know if you could, oh, right there. And I can't put it in here at the angle that I need to bend it at. And it's gonna be very hard to bend that because this is also too long, which I could cut it to bend it that way. But I want as much metal there as possible so that when it wraps around my caliper like I want it to, I'll have somewhere to attach it to. So I'm gonna run to Harbor Freight and see if they have a metal brake that'll work for this thick of metal, hopefully. And hopefully it's not too expensive. And if we do get a metal brake, we can also remake my mount for my steering, because right now it's got a cut going through it on both sides because I wasn't able to bend it how I wanted it to. So if we get a metal brake, we can make that easier, and then future projects, it'll also be easier if we have a metal brake. So hopefully we can get the cheap one. If not, we're gonna be spending a little money today. as you can see, I got my metal brake right here. Worked okay for what I needed it to. Wasn't the best thing in the world, but maybe if we work against one of the edges, it'll work better. But did get all my stuff done over here. Caliper is on. I do have to go get some nuts for these bolts that I have in here, and my brake line also showed up. I have it kind of ran how it's supposed to be, and it's like really stretched up to where it goes. So I might have to get an extension for it, because it does run right to my brake pedal. But it's got a lot of things to go around. I don't want it to get wrapped up in my axle either, so maybe I could find an extension for that. If not, we'll try to find a way to make it work. But brake and everything's mounted up, spun everything, and also ended up putting the bolts in it so I can make it removable rather than just welding it to this in general or whatever, rather than just welding it to the thing. Because what if I had to take the axle out? If I have to take the axle out, then my brake caliper's stuck in there, can't get it out, yada yada yada. Don't want to deal with that, so that's why I did it that way. So yeah, that part of it's done. We'll see if I can get brake fluid in it and see if it works. If not, that'll be something I'll do off camera and just make sure that nothing leaks and all that and brakes work. So next thing is we're gonna get my lower control arms built out with my metal that I have here so that I can size up my CV axles over there and make sure that those can fit and articulate with the suspension, everything like they need to without pulling themselves apart. So I got these control arms all set up how I want them to. I might add some more bracing later on down the line, but everything seems to be holding up pretty good. I just have everything tacked right now just in case I have to move it when I go to put my axles in. I don't want to put my axles in yet because I still have to weld these flanges how they need to sit, and I don't want them being crooked and have the CV axles cut wrong, so we're going to hold off on that until I can get a master link for my chain. Did get my brake line ran where I want it to go, like permanently, so I'm going to build a casing over this so if we ever have a chain snap it won't take our brakes out. The one problem we have with that is it runs right up to my clutch but won't go over to my brake unless you really stretch it. So I'm going to try to find an extension for that that's maybe like 5 to 10 inches so we can loosen everything up a little bit. And then yeah, I got to get a clutch cable because I've ordered 4 and none of them have worked for what I need them to, so we're kind of out of luck there, but everything's starting to come along really good. Honestly, I don't know how much more we have to do before we can drive it. Honestly, I wouldn't, if we had a master link right now, I wouldn't be against driving it right now. I'd just route the brake line different and hook it up to the brakes. I just want everything set in stone so I don't have to keep unhooking everything and leak brake fluid everywhere. So we're gonna hold off on that. I also have to weld everything fully because this whole thing's just tacked together. I was messing with it the other day and a bunch of these welds popped, so I welded that up a little more. So we're getting very close. It's dragging on a lot. I know it's terrible. I don't like how long it's dragging on. That's why I'm trying to get it finished. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Drop a like if you enjoyed it, and drop down in the comments what you think about this thing, and we will catch you guys next weekend.